Hello world, this is EIC Outrage and today we are talking about beef. My name is Azeem Banatwalla, that's right, I'm a Muslim talking about beef in India. Yep, so just take a second right now and type out all your hate comments. Just go for it, knock yourself out. You suck, go back to Pakistan, bloody secular, Shahid Afridi is your boyfriend. Just let it all out, Done? Cool? Okay, let's go. For the last few decades, the biggest topic of debate in India has been, should the consumption of beef and the slaughter of cows be legal in India? And to answer that question, we need to answer a lot of others. First, what is beef? A common belief amongst Indians is that beef equals cows. Not true. Beef comes from cows, bulls, buffaloes and water buffaloes, which account for most of the beef in India. What are water buffaloes? Well, they're just buffaloes as pronounced by Anil Kapoor. Water buffalo, wow, chagas, wow. Now let's come to cows. The first argument against cow slaughter is, bro, India is a Hindu country. Hindus have never eaten beef. Never, ever. Again, not true. And if you don't believe me,
beef, जो खाता है, हिंदू में नहीं खाता क्या beef?
Of course, he later went on to say,
इससे भी जो beef है, ये सब खाने से बीमारी होता है, नहीं खाना चाहिए.
So maybe not the most credible source. But according to a couple of very well-researched books, Brahmins in the Vedic and Aryan ages actually sacrificed cows and consumed their meat. In fact, cows were actually considered as a measure of wealth. मेरे पास गाड़ी है, बंगला है, पैसा है. तेरे पास क्या है? मेरे पास cow है. Back then, owning a cow was pretty much like owning a Mercedes-Benz. कितना देती है? 2 liters. C-class. C for cow. Now this is when Gautam Buddha came into the picture and spoke to the farmers. Guys, don't kill cows, guys. But why? Burgers are awesome, bro. Because if you kill less cows, you will have more cows and you will be rich. Woohoo! Buddhism rocks! With people shifting to Buddhism, the Brahmins altered their marketing strategy. These Buddhists are stealing all our market, man. What is this nonsense? Okay, you know what? Cows are awesome. No killing cows. Cows are awesome. Your cow. Your mom's a cow. Woo! Gaay hamari mata hai. Ah, so that's how that happened. To this day, large sections of Hindus have no problem with eating beef. For example, Kerala has no restrictions whatsoever on animal slaughter. And that brings us to an important question. Should beef be banned in India? Now let's put all religious and communal aspects to one side. As a country, India is the world's largest exporter of beef. It's the 5th largest producer of beef and the 7th largest consumer of beef. We make $4.3 billion from beef exports every year. That's twice the GDP of Bhutan and half of Antilla's annual electricity bill. So from a purely economic standpoint, the answer is no. And people love Indian beef. In fact, Bangladeshis love Indian beef so much that they've been stealing it from us for years.
Indo-Bangladesh border in Dhubri, the BSF claims to have seized more than 12,000 cattle.
No, these are hardly 10 to 20%.
In 2014, an estimated 17 lakh buffaloes were smuggled from India to Bangladesh. Now, the one question we are all asking here is, how do you smuggle a cow across a border? What is this, Bajrangi Bhaijan? Don't you mean Bajrangi Gaijan? Sir, cows are not allowed, sir. But sir, Munni ko ghar pahunchana hai, sir. Oh. That's beautiful. Munni badnaam hui. Moo. Now let's come to a question that a lot of people are asking. Can beef be banned in India? Yes and no, according to the Directive Principles of State Policy, Article 48. However, the 4 of you that remember civics from school will know that Directive Principles aren't legally enforceable. They're more like suggestions, they're kind of like your dad. Beta, drive safely. Beta, study properly. Beta, eat kulfi. There can technically never be a nationwide ban on beef because cattle slaughter can only be addressed by individual states. So in that sense, beef can never be entirely banned in India. Unless, hypothetically, a political party with a right-wing nationalist manifesto somehow manages to take over every state in the entire country. I mean, what are the odds of that happening, right? And that brings us to the real issue. Last week, in Dadri, this happened.
A man was allegedly beaten to death and his son injured by a mob following a rumor that his family was involved in cow slaughter.
A man was killed under the suspicion that his family may have consumed beef which may have come from a cow. The latest report suggests that the killers had political affiliations as well. A VHP leader came out in the public and said this.
दो मांस खाने वाले उनके साथ यही हश्र होना चाहिए.
What's ridiculous is that the opinions of millions of people are formed by the words of these leaders. This is where we are right now. As a country, the cow is no longer just a sacred animal. The cow is no longer just a provider of milk and food and livelihood. The cow is now a tool for propaganda. It's being used by people as an excuse to hurt other people who don't share their beliefs under the garb of nationalism. That's not nationalism, that's anarchy. On his final appearance on The Daily Show, Jon Stewart said, "Let's call out the bullshit." And he was right. And maybe in India too, it's time we called out the bullshit and the cow dung while we're at it. That was my outrage for today. Mooyah.